Howdy folks, I'm Keith Bowen. This is Hard Rock University and we are at Prospect Inn up in Montana here, and we're going to be here a couple of days. The tunnel's about 500 feet long, lots of mineralization and different zones all through it. Going to be a lot of work. But before I show you that, let me show you the scenery. Now, isn't that gorgeous? So this is what I am afflicted with when I go to work. I have to just deal with all the horrors of the outdoors impinging on my eyeballs. That is gorgeous. So, we're having a good time up here, warming up a little bit actually from inside the tunnel, and I'm going to go in and start sampling. I'm also going to show you all a few tricks, and we'll see what happens. Well, Eva's inner Becky Homeki has gotten completely out of control. She thought of cleaning up the shack, and she made a stack out of it. So anyhow, we have a number of samples processed. We've been here about a day and a half now. And I'll take you up the hill to those workings in a bit. Right now I'll show you this tunnel in here. The orange mark is our sight point for the survey. And let's see, turn on lights. Come on. And there we go. Now this is the usual short tunnel. I don't know why the miners were so small in the past. Now, if you take a look here, you can see the rock's been shattered and there's iron little veinlets in between there. And one would think, as I've marked here, that might be what they were going after. That is not the case. It's fun trying to walk bent over while videotaping. Here's the first indication of something else. They certainly went after something there. If you take a look carefully, you can see this little breccia zone there. Believe it or not, that's actually what they were following. Now it's very deceptive to me. Because going through here, you keep seeing these big bands of iron staining. Looks really good. In fact, for all I know, this whole hill is low grade. But this is not the stuff they were after, believe it or not. Now, if you look on the right rib, you'll see these hash marks. Those hash marks are every 20 feet. On the floor, you'll see painted rocks. Those are survey points. We did our little survey here. And we have some pack rats. With any luck, I'll be able to show you one. I'm sure we've been giving them nervous breakdowns for the last 2 days. Now here, again, it's kind of deceptive. You see this sloping structure going up. You think, well, yeah, that's one of those side veins they were punching through, those cross veins. But Look right here. This is what they were following. Now, when we get up on the hill, I'll show you some other stuff and you'll see why they were probably following this. These are all samples I got to carry out while bent over. And I've got a few to go yet. And they kept taking little things. Now, again, that vein goes in this direction. See? Well, it looks like there may be something that goes this way. The vein actually goes that way. So, it's very deceptive in here in terms of what's going on. And here, they really went up there a ways, unless that's a natural cavity. There was some little midget miner digging his way up in there. I don't have a ladder, so I can't tell. I took that sample there, so we'll see. They did this little crosscut here. I took a sample right there. It goes up into that same zone. So my thought is, this is where a cross structure weakened the rock, and the main event made a pocket there, an ore chute. And they wanted to see whether or not it would continue this way. Apparently not. Now, in none of the samples have I been able to pan gold. I find that suspiciously, like, for some reason I can't pan the gold out of this. Maybe real fine or something, I don't know. Now you look at that and you go, holy crap, that looks juicy as hell. But they didn't do much drifting on it. Now here is how you can tell which happened first. See, you have a question. Did these cross structures form before the main vein? Well, here's how you can tell. Right there. You got the cross structures, and they're broken by the main vein. See that orange one is just cut right by the vein. That tells you this vein was put in after this other stuff. So basically all these stripes here, this, I don't know, looks like about 60-degree slope, fracturing and fracture filling, look at all that stuff, was prior to the event that they were actually following. And we should have taken enough samples that we can figure it out. Now here's another phenomenon. You can't even really see the vein here because it's all covered with dust. When you blast, it creates dust. There, a little bit of spalling has kind of cleaned off the vein, so you can see it, but you notice how it just disappears. Big mining companies will actually come in and pressure wash a tunnel like this to see what's really going on. Now right here you can't see anything. Let's see what happens. We turn the light sideways. Still can't see much. A lot of times you do that, you can actually see the difference in texture right there. That little breccia zone. That's what they were following at this point. Now, another little dog hole up there. And you get this angled structure here. And you think, well, that might be what they were chasing there. I don't know. There appears to be the vein, and they look like they're a little bit off it. See how the vein, there's not much of a vein right here? broken rock. And we have these. Now these planks are actually 6 inches thick. Eva's scared of them, but I'm not. And right down in there, see, they were following the structure down. So I took a sample down there too, kind of ignoring all these little veinlets. Man, it'd be interesting to find out what's in those. An old air tank. I think we're now like 300 feet back. And here there's a little bit of stoppage along the vein, where they went up along the main vein. See it there? But past this point, you pretty well lose it. It just turns into a crack that they were following. Keep going back in here. There's 400 feet. This is actually a fairly comfortable height drift. I wish they'd have made it all this way. Look at the back, I can't see a clear vein, though this all looks mineralized. And now you can really see that banded cross structure here. And notice how they completely ignored it. There's the end of the tunnel there at 497 feet, and I can't see any vein in it at all. On the other hand, here we have a cross structure that's quite red, and these are some drill steels from jackleg drills. They're stuck in the wall, and I believe they are stuck in the wall because this material here is so soft that it probably plugged up their flushing hole. That hole right there in the drill steel pushes water through there to flush the cuttings out. And if you plug the hole in the drill bit that water goes through, it binds up real fast. You just jam it right into the soft rock like that. And I bet you those two are permanent fixtures of the mountain now. Whatever that is, I took a sample of it. I don't know what it is, but it's an interesting rock. It's just red. So that's basically the tunnel here at the end claim. And here you can see another cross structure. This, what looks like red rock, is actually just blasting dust from the last shot or two they took out here. Probably one shot. So that's basically the tunnel. And I can't tell you much about it from my pan because just not seeing squat in it. There's almost no, I've seen a couple specks out of all the samples here, yet this was supposed to be a gold mine. That's what the records say. So perhaps it's so fine it simply won't gravity extract, or perhaps there's something messing it up. There's a lot of clay sometimes, but I wouldn't expect it to mess every sample up. I don't know. We will have assays and we will find out. There's too much work here. Again, they didn't do this just for the exercise. They had some motivation, something driving them on. And up on top of the hill, it looks even more mineralized. So let me show you that. I'll get some samples there tomorrow morning. We'll haul them out, and we shall see what we shall see. Well, here it is, the third day up here on the end claim. And down there is the road we came up on. And there's the trailer right there. Now, there is a dozer road up here, although you never find it until you come here first. Because where it meets the main road, it's just pretty well camouflaged from vegetation growing up over the years. Now, I'm going to take samples primarily of dumps. The reason being, the workings here are pretty sketchy. I'm the only one here that can do rope work. And so, from up there, all the way down the hill to about there, there are a series of, as I recall, 3 declines. They've all got dumps. So I will just work the dumps. Okay, we're at the first of the workings up the hill. This one, I suspect, is the same structure they were mining downstairs. And I've GPSed that, and I know I'm down there somewhere. So I'll be able to figure out the angle compared to the adit and see where things are lining up. This, as you can see, it's kind of brown on the floor in there. Can't get in very easy. But this appears to be like some hand sort. And so this is what I'm going to sample at this location. The assumption is this is the best material, so this isn't worth it. The tunnel isn't worth it. It's a mild risk, but I only have certain capabilities. Well, I've made it into the target zone. This is the lowest decline. There's the dump for the next decline, and there's another working even above that. So now I need to climb the hill, get coordinates, and get samples. I have with me my handy dandy 6-pack of buckets, which is a lot easier to carry this way than individually. You can even take it and sling it over your pack with the handle of the shovel as a handle to just kind of balance it there. Like 7 buckets up the hill on this road without too much trouble. So at that corner fence post behind it is the dump I just showed you. The cat road between the two. Here's the upper working. You can see they trenched a little bit, and then they declined on this and can't see very much, and not going to get close enough to see very much, but pretty decent width they were working. Highly effective fence, but it keeps out the ne'er-do-wells. Oops, that would be me. Down there is what appears to be stockpiled ore. Notice there's even what looks like the remains of an old ore bin there. Over there through the tree you can see my bucket where I sampled this dump here. Now, working on dumps can be a pain in the ass because for some reason they seem to form at the angle at which stuff just naturally falls by itself. So it's not a bad idea to take your shovel and make a series of divots to give you a little purchase while you go out there. Saves a lot of effort. As you can see, this material here is almost all the exact same type of rock. This just essentially rust. Whereas over here we have iron stained something else, which I presume is the wall rock. See? And this has been decomposing for a time. And sample yesterday didn't show me any visible gold, but there's got to be something in it. We'll let the laboratory figure it out. Well, this is the pan of the material from the apparently selected ore dump on the upper vein at the, oops. And it's got a lot of this light colored mineral in it. I'm guessing barite or wolfenite. But anyhow, not much gold. There's a few specks in there, but that's all I see. Maybe that's what they were after. And even out here, if you listen carefully, you can hear the call of the urban sky rat. Yes, there are pigeons nesting in here. Here's the middle working. And pretty narrow zone of mineralization they were going after. You can tell by the size of the shadow of my head. About a foot wide there. So I've taken a sample of the dump, and over there seemed to be the highest grade stuff, so I took a separate bucket of select high grade. Now I'll take that down the hill to the road and then hike up there with another bucket. And I believe it's just going to be one bucket coming down from there. And this is the upper working. Again, looks like a foot or so wide, maybe a little more. It's all this really rusty stuff. I'm going to take a sample of that over there and then head back to camp. So from this amazing vantage point, happy prospecting and keep it safe out there.